Vortigern was dead, and Aurelius Ambrosius, last of the Romans, was dead too, when Uther Pendragon, whom some called the brother of Ambrosius, led the Britons. He defeated the Saxons in many battles, and brought peace to the southern lands where he was king, to London, and to Winchester, which was then called Camelot, and to Cornwall, where Gorlois, his loyal follower, was duke. But Uther fell in love with Gorlois' wife, the lovely Igraine, and there was battle between them until Gorlois fell, and Uther married his widow. My first book is actually one that we are reading together in my elementary school book club. We are reading King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. It's a great choice for older elementary students, recommended for about ages 9 and up. It's got everything you could ever want in an adventure story. It's got brave knights, it's got fair damsels, it's got wise wizards, it's got jousting, it's got swords, it's got a quest. And if you're reading these with your child, you might talk to him or her about why these stories are so popular and also how they have influenced movies or fantasy novels that they might know already. You might ask them, does Merlin remind you of anybody you've read about? Does he make you think of Gandalf from Lord of the Rings? Does he remind you of Dumbledore and Harry Potter? One thing I like about it is that the girls actually have a lot of influence in the story. Maybe the Lady of the Lake isn't actually out battling like Arthur and Lancelot, but Arthur wouldn't have Excalibur if it weren't for the Lady of the Lake giving Excalibur to him. And I think that's one thing that I like about these stories, is that they're great classic stories for boys and girls who aren't real girly girls. Not all of us want to be princesses. Some of us would like to have a little more adventure in our lives. And I think that any kind of fantasy adventure novel can appeal to boys and girls alike. Roger Lancelyn Green was a contemporary of C.S. Lewis's. They were together at Oxford and at Cambridge, so the language is a little bit more elevated because you're dealing with a different period and people who are in very educated intellectual circles. So that's why I think it's great for reading in families.